the
Kofi.
conference.
Hello, Kofi.
Hello, how you doing?
Good. Yourself?
Good. So, this is Joe, right?
This is called the Pop Explosion, and I interviewed Mr. Bruce maybe 6 months ago when the album came out.
Right, that's the Heavenly Cream, right, wasn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, do you have a new record coming out too?
Well, I have a record with my cousin, but me and Malcolm have been working on doing stuff for a long time, but not anything in the works as yet. I mean, we all do our own solo stuff at the moment. We are going to be doing an album together, hopefully. As soon as we get off the road, we finish this tour, we're going to get in the studio and do something.
Oh, great. So you're coming to the Boston area?
Yeah. I will be in the Boston area next month, I believe, right?
I believe it's August 17th at Beverly, at a club in Beverly, or a showcase hall.
Oh, that's
It's a really nice town. Yeah. Are you in, you're in New England right now, correct?
No, I'm in Chicago.
Huh?
I'm in Chicago.
Oh, okay. You're in Chicago.
Chicago, yeah.
I love Chicago.
Yeah, I like it. It's just, it's a little bit Midwest for me. A little bit, I mean, Chicago's fine. It's just if you get, well, I'm on the suburbs. I'm just across the border in Indiana, Chicagoland. It gets a little bit weird out here. I mean, I don't understand a lot of the stuff that they do out here. Baffles me. So it's a little bit strange, but you know, there you go.
Well, there's Buddy Guy's Legends. That's a good place.
Yeah, there's some music clubs up in Chicago. There's some good ones. There's just not much down in the southern end of Indiana. It seems like northern Indiana near Chicago's good, but I'm in northern Indiana, just across the border from Chicago.
So I knew your dad.
Okay.
I met him and Jack Bruce at the Paradise in Boston. But I used to manage a guy by the name of Jimmy Miller, who produced Ginger Baker's Air Force.
Oh, that's my favorite stuff. Is that? I mean.
Oh, really?
The Air Force. Well, I think the Air Force was when my dad was really doing his thing, doing what he wanted to do. That was when he was, I thought. I mean, Blind Faith was great. Cream was great. Blind Faith was great. But Air Force was just like, my dad was doing what he wanted to do. That was his thing. And you can tell. I mean, his drumming is like, I think that's the best drumming out of all of it. So.
Yeah, well, Jimmy loved Ginger. And Ginger wrote the backword to JoJo Lane's book. And what he wrote was, "No sane man would ever go near her." And he got that right. Huh?
Okay, there we go. Lost you for a minute there. I don't know what happened. I think it might be my phone.
Oh, so JoJo Lane was married to Denny Lane. And I think Denny Lane was in the Air Force, right?
Yes.
And so Ginger wrote the back word in JoJo's book, which hasn't been published, but he wrote, "No sane man would ever go near her." And he absolutely got that right. She was one of my best friends, but she really was. They broke the mold after her.
Okay.
So anyway, let's talk about your tour. What's going to happen on the tour? Who's playing with you?
Well, it's me and Malcolm, obviously, and then Rob Johnson, who's my cousin. He's my dad's sister's daughter's kid. So that makes him I don't know what that makes him. My cousin or some sort?
If it's your dad's would it be your sister, your dad's daughter's kids? So you're the great uncle.
I suppose, yeah. I suppose I'd be my. What would he be? Trying to think work that out. I suppose it'd be my nephew in some aspect, right?
What does he play?
He's the guitar player. Malcolm's playing bass, I'm playing drums, and he's playing guitar.
Oh, nice.
So yeah,
And
I mean, sorry.
It's going to be the Cream album that I reviewed, I guess. Tracks from that.
No, it's basically Cream and Blind Faith.
Oh wow.
So yeah, we're doing Cream and Blind Faith. So we're keeping the because I promised my dad I'd keep his legacy alive when he died, and I started doing gigs and stuff, and I was doing a tour in Europe, and I asked Malcolm to come on board. It was called Kofi Baker's Cream Faith, and he came on board, and we decided, hey, why don't we just call it Sons of Cream and just do our dad shit, and this is our first Sons of Cream tour.
Well, you know that Jimmy Miller produced Blind Faith as well.
Right. Okay.
That's a great story. I guess Eric Clapton and Steve Winwood were kind of in awe of each other, and they just kept recording and recording. And there were stacks of tapes. And so Chris Blackwell called Jimmy Miller, and in 3 days they finished the album because they had to go on tour.
Right.
So,
okay.
Yeah, I managed Jimmy for many years, but and I'm a huge Ginger Baker fan and a huge Jack Bruce fan. So to have Jack Bruce call the house, right, and hang out with Ginger and Jack Bruce at the Paradise meant the world to me.
Yeah, well, that's good.
So I'm so happy. I'm sorry?
I said I hope they were nice to you.
Oh no, Ginger was great. Ginger scribbled in crayon on the back of a Jack Bruce album. That was the autograph.
Oh, okay.
He's a funny guy.
Yeah, my dad was definitely a character. We had many a story about him.
He's amazing. What an amazing drummer.
Yeah, I mean, it's pity he wasn't such a nice parent, but there you go.
Well, you're talking to someone who I really appreciated what your dad did.
Okay.
And what Malcolm's dad did. Jack Bruce and Ginger Baker are just two people I really admire, their musicianship.
Well, Malcolm is just like his dad, and I'm pretty much like my dad, so we're keeping it going. We're doing the same thing there. Improvising a lot of the shows, improvised, it's different every night. Because my dad used to say if he played it the same way twice, he'd be very pissed off with himself. So I play it different every night. We play it different. We jam for like 10, 15 minutes in every song, and we just make it up. We improvise. I come from a jazz fusion background myself, and Malcolm comes from a jazz background, and like the guitar player, Rob Johnson, he's a blues guy, so it's perfect.
So when did you first start playing the drums?
When I was 3.
Wow.
52 years ago.
Wow. That's amazing.
I was playing with John Etheridge and Dick Esselstyn when I was 15. I turned pro when I was 15. That's when I left school and was playing gigs around London. And then Steve Marriott's manager saw me, Steve Marriott, humble pie guy, saw me, and I joined his band, and I played with him toured Europe with him for a couple of years.
You played with Steve Marriott?
I was his last drummer, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah,
I saw Humble Pie in the 70s. Very powerful band.
Yeah, we used to do all those stuff. I used to do a drum solo into 30 Days in a Hole. Steve was great. I mean, Steve was like my one best friend for a while there. He's like really looked after me. He was great to play with, and he was just such a great guy. He died Friday night, and I was meant to go to his house Saturday, and we were meant to go back on the road. So he died the day before I was about to go out on the road with him. So, there you go. We just
Tell me a special... I'm sorry?
What were you saying? I was just going to say, he just got back to America doing an album with Peter Frampton, and I was meant to be on that album, but I was doing something else and I couldn't do it. And then he got back and called me up and said, "Man, you should go on the album with Frampton. He was asking about you." And I'm like, "Oh, I can't do it." I went back on the road with Steve, and then he died right before the tour. But there you go. So what were you going to say?
I was going to ask, tell me a special moment touring with Steve Marriott.
Oh, okay.
Either on stage or off.
Well, some of them were really funny. Germany, he used to get pretty drunk, and he got a cork from the wine and lit it on fire, and then blew it out. And I'm like, "What's he doing?" And then he'd go up to me and he'd put it on right on my top lip. He'd put the cork. And then he'd go to the other members of the band, and we all had these Hitler moustaches from the cork. He gave us all these Hitler moustaches. And I said, "What are you doing, Steve?" And then he starts running around the club going, "Sieg Heil." And I'm like, "We're in Germany, Steve. I don't know if this is a good idea." I mean, I have a picture of Steve leaning out the window doing the Hitler thing with his, I was like, "Steve, you're going to get us in trouble," because they don't like that in Germany anymore. But he was wild. He used to just, he was like, he was a great guy. He bought me, when he went to America, he bought me a pair of purple Converse. And when he came back, his wife had the Converse. So he went to his house and fell asleep with a cigarette and woke up in the smoke, and they found him in his closet. Because his house leaned to the left, his bedroom, and they found him in the closet, which was on the left of his room. So he obviously woke up in the smoke and got to the closet. But the shoes, his wife gave me them like the next week because they still had them in his case. So I got the purple Converse off Steve. So he used to call me Purple Baker because I had purple hair. So instead of Ginger Baker, he called me Purple Baker. So that was my name from Steve.
Wow. What band followed that, playing with Steve Marriott?
Oh, I did lots of things. I did Steve Waller's Man for Man band. I played with him. I did, I did so many things. I can't even remember all of them. I can't remember. I was working with all these people in London. A lot of different people. I did that gig with Jack around about that same time. I think it was before Steve, actually. One in Budapest with me and Malcolm. And then I played with all kinds of people, a lot of fusion though, jazz, I've done so many fusion stuff. Chris Poland from Megadeth, I did his fusion band for 10 years. I did Uli John Roth for a little while. I got fired from Uli John Roth because I couldn't play the fill the same way every night. The bass player would say, "You're confusing me with those drum fills. Can't you play the same fill?" I go, "No, why should I play the same fill every night?" Because I get confused. So that was my dad teaching me how to play differently every night. I can't remember all the people I played. I played with so many people, it's ridiculous. Can't remember them all. But Steve Barrett
I usually do the TV show on Zoom, and the radio is breaking up. So I'm going to write a story up for the show and get it published.
Well, I can get off my headphones. It might be a better quality. Let me get off my headphones. Hang on. Let me get off and then hopefully it doesn't hang up. How do I get off? I don't even know how to do this. Because my headphones are not that great, so maybe they're cracking up. Hang on, let's see. If I hang up, I'll call you back. Let me just...
Okay.
Kofi.